Welcome to another episode of Class Haven Farms. So what do we got going on today? Well, we have a lot going on today. So first thing we got to do is we need to bring some wood up because good old wonderful Maryland weather. One week it's 70, 80 degrees. The next week it's like 15 degrees. And today it's sitting at 46 right now and it's supposed to drop down tonight. But on a good note, we did get the chickens moved. So we got them moved off the old spot. So you guys get to kind of see some of the progress that we've had this week and some of the things we got going on. So stay tuned. To form with Maryland weather, now the rain has finally come in. So the rain was actually supposed to have been here earlier in the day, but I had to go into work for a few hours, so I was hoping that it would hold off. And the minute I get out here and set you guys up, here it comes. So we'll just deal with it as it goes. This firewood is if you remember, is the firewood that was donated to me by my church. And I think I pretty much just got just enough to get me through. So we are beginning of March. And I have this little stack here, and then I have this section here. So I think we're going to be just good with the amount that we have. You know, this winter has definitely been a weird winter. You know, right around Christmas, we had that week long where it was kind of cold and it was in the teens, and we had a couple days here in between there since then. But other than that, this winter's been really mild, which, to be perfectly honest with you guys, I'm happy with it. Which, to tell you the truth, I was kind of happy it was a mild winter because I was really behind this year getting my wood processed and all that, mainly because of buying this property and this house having to need so much work done to it. I just really didn't have the time to put into processing wood in the spring and summer months as I normally would. But it's also given me an idea, especially with this new furnace. I mean, had the furnace since October. I've really gotten a good idea as to how much wood I will probably need to get me through a winter. So all in all, it's a learning experience. It's one of those things in life, man. If you're the only way you learn is from really good stuff happening or really bad stuff happening and adapting as it goes through. So this week has been a pretty crazy week. At the beginning of the week into the weekend, I had the kids with me, and our rooster Larry was getting very aggressive. It's been getting worse and worse as the time's going on since I've had him. But I don't know, in the last month or so, he's just gotten really aggressive. I ended up having to take Ethel out of the hen yard because Larry was just attacking her. He had actually got the back of her scalp and ripped a big portion of it off. Now, he did that probably about a year ago now, back when the chickens were in another location until I got set up in this place. And when we moved here, he kind of stopped with all that, so I was hoping he was going to be over that. But he got a hold of her one day, and if it wouldn't have been for me jumping over the fence and shocking myself going into the fence, I probably wouldn't have had her. So I did move her over here with the goats. We'll see if she's out there. And there's a little miss thing right there. What are you doing, Eth? Go grab her for you guys. See if she'll let me show you the top of her head. It's healing up pretty good. Come here, Eth. Ruby, Lily, come. Come here, Eth. Come here. Sweet. Come here. I know I tried to show you guys this in the last video that I did, but it looks a lot better now than it did a week ago. But Larry really did a number on her, grabbing her and throwing her around. So I had to put her in here so we didn't have lose Ethel, because Ethel's my girl. If you've been following me for a while, I've had Ethel, guess what, 3 years now? I've had Ethel for 3 years. 2 years ago is when she helped hatch Larry and some of the other batch. So with Larry, he was on thin ice with me, and it wasn't looking very good for him. And just had to go ahead and send Larry to a different place. Had to dispatch Larry. So it's amazing when you do that, you get rid of a very overly aggressive rooster, how the rest of your flock just adapts to it. So the girls are a lot happier now. My egg production's actually gone up because of Larry being gone, because he's not tormenting them and he's not all over them all the time. And I hate to do that. Larry was a good looking rooster. I mean, he served his purpose. He did a good job protecting them, especially when they were up in the other location. But it was just time to move on. So we're hoping that some of the new roosters that we hatched that came from Larry, we're hoping they'll work out pretty well for us. And if not, they might follow the same fate as Larry. So sometimes with these bolt-on pallet forks, if you can cheat and pick them up, it's just a little easier. Probably the biggest downfall to these bolt-on forks like that is you just can't see. So of course, now the rain's really coming down. Let me get my windshield wipers on. But as you can see, it's kind of hard to see through the bucket sometimes when you're picking stuff up. But these things were nice because they were, at the time, they were $110. And I'll tell you, probably the best $110 I've ever spent. Definitely the best $110 I've ever spent. The rain here is definitely picking up. I was really hoping to finish spreading some of this dirt, but it's starting to get to the point where it'll probably just be more clumped up than anything. So I might hold off on that. I was really, really hoping that if it would have held off, I could have finished that, but I wanted to bring wood up first because having wood's a little bit more important than spreading that dirt right now. Kind of give you guys a little tour here of the girls and their new setup. And I'll go ahead and link a video to the chicken whisperer helping me move these. Now I moved these late Wednesday night into Thursday morning. I ended up finishing everything up. Got up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and finished everything up. But I did all the moving with the tractor and the forks Wednesday night and used the 3-point hitch to pick the main coop up and move it. And I'll throw a clip up here real quick of the chicken whisperer helping me move it and his flashlight holding skills. So those of you that are dads, or when you were a kid holding the flashlight for your dad and your dad would holler at you if you weren't holding it still, wait till you see this quick video of the chicken whisperer. you just got to laugh at them, right? So it was funny. The lily tamer was taking the video of us moving the coop, and when it was all done, of course, I hadn't seen the video. Of course, Lily Tamer watched it as she was recording it. When I got off the tractor and got done moving the coop, I said, "How did it look?" And she said, "Dad, the only thing I'm going to say, it's a good thing you had me hold the camera and not the chicken whisperer." I didn't really understand what she was talking about, and then I went back and looked, and he's over there shaking the flashlight. I'll tell you, man, I think that's probably the coolest thing about being a dad, is watching your kids just do that stuff and almost remembering when you were a kid. I mean, the whole reason why he had a flashlight was on the corner of where the garden fence used to be. There was a post that broke off in the ground, and to tell you the truth, I just completely forgot to go back and yank that out. So since it was dark, I didn't want to catch the edge of the tractor tire on that or catch the coop when I was moving it around. So Chicken Whisperer had the flashlight so he could hold it down there so I could see it as I was pulling the coop around. And of course, that portion of the video, we were past that point. We're like halfway into the middle of the new hen yard. So he didn't really need to hold the flashlight anymore. And, you know, as a kid, when your job is done and you're bored, you just start doing stuff like that. So, oh man. But cool thing is, we did get the chickens moved into the garden. So they have been doing an awesome job tearing everything up and really kind of working into that soil. And that's what I was looking for. You know, I'm really excited. This is the first time in 3 years that I've been able to do a garden. And now being here at the new property, I'm super excited. Chicken Whisperer and Lily Tamer and I went out. We picked out our seeds and picked out all the stuff that we want to grow in the garden. And something, you know, those of you that are still watching this, you haven't clicked off. I really appreciate that. Thank you. You know, I started this channel as a dedication for my grandparents' dairy farm. And my grandmother, Meemaw, used to always tell us growing up that you never put anything in the ground or start anything from seed outside until May 14th. May 14th was always her date. She said, if you wait till May 14th, you never have to worry about freezing. You never have to worry about that. And I will tell you, one of the first times I ever started a garden, I went against what she said, and I planted stuff in the ground maybe the first or second week of April, and I paid for it. We had a freeze that came out of nowhere, and we had a really, like, it was like one of those, you thought it was going to be a nice early spring. Weather was perfect, 70, 75, 80 even most days. And then out of nowhere, we had a 2-day snap that we went to 29 one night and 32 the next night, and it absolutely crushed my garden. And that was probably 7 or 8 years ago. And ever since then, I try to always follow what Meemaw says. But as I said, it's been 3 years since I've done a garden. So I'm super, super excited to get doing that again, especially with having the kids here. Chicken Whisperer loves being in a garden. 3 years ago when we did one, he was always wanting to go out there and check the lettuce and check everything. So it's getting there, but looks like the rain is coming down a little harder. I don't want it to mess up my microphone and some of my other stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. If you've stayed all the way through this video, really appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel. And remember, we did start an Instagram page, so you can find us at Class Haven Farms on Instagram. And if anyone ever wants to reach out to me, you can also reach out to me through my email, so classhavenfarms@gmail.com. I'll put the description down here in the bottom of that. And as always, I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully a little drier.